Do I really need another excuse to make my absolute favorite dress pattern on this channel? No. However, will you watch yet another version of this dress without some type of challenge? Also no, so never fear. Don't click away yet. Don't do it. Because today, yes, I am going to be making my favorite dress pattern that I have made, I think 3 to 4 times on this channel at this point. However, we're adding an extra layer to it. This time, I'm gonna teach Tina how to do it. And of course, today's video is sponsored by Squarespace, but more on them in a little bit. And in case you are new to this channel and don't know, my favorite pattern is Simplicity 3932 from 1952. Now, I was lucky enough to stumble upon this in a bust size 44, which means that thankfully most of the sizing up is not that bad. Our lovely friend Tina here is a fantastic quilter, but has yet to make a dress. And so, thusly, we went forth yesterday to Joann's on the Sunday after Black Friday, which that was a questionable choice, and no, there's not footage because, dear God. We went and found some fun fabric because it's always good to start your very first project with something that has a slight bit of give and is a little bit newer, so that if for some reason something happens, you can actually go buy more of it. I think that's enough of the preamble here, friends. Let's get to sewing. And the first step in doing anything even vaguely, appropriately, yes, I do actually know how to do it, I just usually don't take the time, don't come for me, is to trace the pattern out. Because Tina, I am sure, will probably want to keep this pattern for ad nauseum, and if you do all the adjustments once, then you don't have to be like me and watch your same video over and over and over again to remember what you did from the last time around. Not saying that's what I'm going to do this time, but I'm absolutely going to do that for when I make mine. You're welcome. So let's trace out the pattern.
I'm a quilter, so I know before you do your quilt pattern, you do need to read the instructions just to know what you're doing and to be familiar with it. I will read these a bajillion times. I don't want to screw this up because I am very, very excited to make this dress for my birthday and gingerbread house looking at, so time to read.
And while Tina is reading that, let's go ahead and talk about the sponsor of today's video, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website builder that allows you, whether you are looking to create a brand for your content, you're looking to set up a new shop, or maybe you just want a landing space so people can actually know when they can see you in person. Squarespace has you covered. From all of these glorious templates that allow you to create your space the way that you want and to express your creativity while making a professionally designed website. Or maybe you're like me and you are really wanting to start yourself a new online store. Don't worry, Squarespace has you covered there too. Not only does Squarespace allow you to create your own online shop, but it also gives you all of these many payment options, from Klarna, Afterpay, and more. So go to squarespace.com to go ahead and start designing your website today. And when you're ready to launch, make sure you go to squarespace.com/StephanieCanada and use the code StephanieCanada to receive 10% off your first domain or website purchase. And may your internet expanse be vast. And now, back to the project.
All right, hi friends. We are at day 2 of me making my dress for my birthday and Christmas, and Stephanie is out running errands, so I am here by myself, and she told me how to cut out a skirt, but if I'm being honest, even as a quilter, I am afraid to cut fabric because I feel like I'll cut it wrong. What am I doing? I am watching Stephanie's video on making this dress in particular, and hopefully I will get some tips. Wish me luck.
A few moments later.
I think I did this right. These are my skirt pieces. I measured from my natural waist down to where I wanted the skirt to kind of land. So I have it just below my knee. I am short compared to Stephanie for sure. I cut it at 26 inches, which Stephanie said that wouldn't even reach her knee.
Now, the most important part about this entire shenanigans is fitting. And that is where the Singer Sewing Book by Mary Brooks Pickens comes in clutch, because it tells you exactly how to measure yourself. And since this book is issued round about the same times as the pattern, we're going to use all of these measurements to help the Tina figure out how to adjust her pattern.
It's a box.
And because a few of you have been asking, here is a video of me actually measuring myself. Starting with the full bust. Then moving on to the waist, where I bend to see where my actual waist is, because it's not at your belly button. And this is the part where you need a friend of some kind for your center back to waist. And lastly, center back to waist. This is to make sure that the bodice is not too long. So to do this, we had Tina try on my dress. And here's the thing, kids. I'm tall.
And I'm short.
It's to the floor.
A few moments later.
I want it to be known, I offered Tina a table. She chose the floor.
I did.
So for this is the back piece. She went on a 1/2 inch and tapered down so that there's more room at the waist. The darts, we are going to move to their correct positions so that they do not get in the way and they're actually sitting in the right spot. But other than that, that's the back piece done. This front piece has no adjustments. And so honestly, that's all the adjustments that she needs to make, because the skirt is a full gathered skirt. We did not need a hip measurement. This is why I love this pattern. It's completely free at the hip. So the only thing you need is your bust, your waist, your center back to neck. We did have to shorten it for Tina about 2 inches, and the front we are going to play around with once it's cut out, because again, we needed to add some at the waist, but if you just trim up, you're going to slowly get more at the waist anyway, so she should be okay. Well, I guess I gotta let her cut it out now. And yes, indeed, folks, I am going to let Tina use the very fancy Kai scissors that I absolutely love. The Ensniftigator has arrived to ensniff. Hi, Moosh. Here you go, Tina.
Thank you.
Hey, Tina, what you doing?
I'm using the fancy scissors.
No,
Oh,
what you doing?
I'm giving myself space to, throw this side of the fabric away.
Oh, okay.
No, don't worry, Stephanie. I know that I'm supposed to cut exactly on the line. I have watched enough of your videos on the YouTube to figure that one out.
Sir! Sir!
But Mother, I
Sir.
want to be helpful.
And with that amount of math and teaching melting my brain, I think we've had enough for today. And now we come to the most important day. Tina, in her lovely self, has cut everything out with my instructions. Now, she didn't record most of it at home, and there's nothing wrong with that. She's not the YouTuber. I am. We're fine with it. However, she has agreed to be on camera for all the sewing shenanigans. So, let's go put this thing together. The first thing we did was make sure that Tina knew what the seam allowance was, so she did not sew at a 1/4 inch, like a quilter does. Now it is time to do the next step, which is to stay stitch things. Now for this pattern in particular, there isn't a whole lot of stay stitching that you have to do. You can stay stitch as much as you want. However, the only pieces you really have to do are the back yoke. And that's it. Why? Because the front yoke has these lovely gathering threads that sort of do the same thing. And honestly, I feel like it's overkill to do the rest of it. So, am I teaching you bad things? Probably. Okay, let's let Tina actually sew. And then Tina taught me something.
Quilters do that.
I think it's cute.
Thank you.
So now her next step is to gather, and Tina is doing a cute little thing that I usually don't do. So she went from her little square and has not clipped a dang thing yet. And actually, her fabric...
It's still under the sewing machine, ready for the next one.
I'm here for all the lazy girl sewing tips. I am absolutely going to be doing this from now on. So listen, you can learn things from anywhere if these videos teach you nothing else. And if they do teach you things, you should tell me in the comments because Okay, I lied. I'm going to have her stay stitch the bodice yoke front too because I definitely forgot which side the gathers go on, even though I've made this pattern about 7,000 times. Quick note, gathering stitches have been run for one piece. However, Tina's little trick now must stop, unfortunately, because when you do gathering stitches, you do need to leave a tail so that you can actually gather the thing. So now she actually has to cut it. And that first gathering stitch might be a little dicey, but we'll start pulling from the short end so that it's not going to be a problem.
Look, I've got bunting.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now, it's time to gather. And the biggest thing to note is that, remember here, friends, we are all sewists on our own journeys. Tina is a spectacular quilter. You want to know what I can quilt? Absolutely nothing. We are now going to have Tina gather down both of her bodice fronts into the yokes. It is a little tricky because of how much gathering there is, but the upside, that means there's no bust darts, which we always love. Let's go ahead and get these fronts gathered down and stitched together. But not without first reverting our stitches to a usual length. And then she began to question everything. Did I do this right? Now I gotta read the instructions. I'm fine, I'm just having a moment. See right here where the notches are at the shoulder? We're fine. I had her do it right the first time. We don't have to reverse sew, as Tina says.
Yep.
So it's all good. I just had a moment. And now, unfortunately, the time has come for Tina to learn the joy of the dart. Which, listen, I know it's effective and useful because people are not flat and we are round things, so we need darts thusly to fit the flat thing to our round body. However, doesn't make them any less irritating. We're going to get going. I'm going to show her how to start at the bottom, go on up, leave a tail, tie a knot, but not tie the knot until you try it on. And I did start by showing Tina how to do it before she tried it herself. Then it was time for the old adage of if you don't know how to tie a knot, tie a lot. But not too many, only like 3 or 4. Okay. Tina has gotten this pretty much under control. She is on to shoulder seams now and doing great. We did have to teach her about the ease that goes along the top of the shoulders for vintage patterns, but she picked it up like a champ and is now ready to sew. And now, Tina gets to try it on. 1, 2, 3, dive! And that'll fit sort of like that.
Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh my goodness.
Tina's doing it.
Hands, the happy hands.
I think that's plenty for today. So we will see y'all tomorrow. And we're back for day number 4, 5, unknown. It's the day to finish-ish the project. So what we have left to do with Tina is the following. We have to stitch the sides of the bodice closed, leaving those basting stitches for the zipper. And just to pacify my brain, we're just gonna run the gathering stitches on her skirt until that bobbin runs out. And then we shall go back and do the bias along all the back necks, and we shall finish the facing that go along with it. Then it shall be time to deal with the skirt, and we might do pockets now, we might do pockets earlier, unknown, depends on how much bobbin thread we have. Is it weird yet? You're welcome. And of course, last but not least, we must attach the bodice to the skirt. That is the goal for today. Now, will I help her with the zipper? Absolutely, because zippers suck. But we shall see if we get that actually on camera. We shall see if we actually get that on camera. And with everything sewed at a normal stitch length, it was time to go as big as the Rockefeller Center does with their Christmas tree, to the biggest setting possible. Also known as crank your machine up to the largest stitch that it has. And listen, we're not going to say anything about the fact we didn't shorten the bodice front. I'm aware. I can only shorten bodice fronts when they're in fabric form. I know that doesn't make any sense, but thankfully for this one, we aren't putting the skirt on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So don't come for me. So now, because Tina is on her number 5 stitch length, next up is to run all the gathering threads until she runs out of bobbin. So it's terribly exciting. So let's go into montage mode and do the gathering stitches. And by do, I mean I don't have to do it because I've already done mine. Dear friends, yes indeed, we did this entire section without realizing the absolute most obvious thing in the room. Do you see it? If so, comment down below before I reveal what it is momentarily. And now we check to see how much thread is left. That's not a lot. But you might be able to get a couple pockets out of it. So let's see how many pockets we can get attached before we run out.
Did I do this upside down?
I hate to say it, friends,
Damn
but
it.
yes. So back to the drawing board for Tina. It's all good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Do over cause fabric.
And then Tina did it again. But the correct direction this time. And no, I did not let Tina go forth with a skirt with gatherings on both sides. I did take the moment to pull them out for her, so that we both wouldn't make the mistake of attaching the skirt to the bodice the wrong direction.
grab from this pile right here, right?
And then it's time for a snack break.
A few moments later.
We're back from snack time, and let's be real. I did measure it beforehand, and so why am I so pale today? Okay, I'm gonna try that again. So we did measure it, and she does need to go 6 inches down to start the pocket sewing so that the opening can be at 6.5, so that hopefully the pocket's in the correct place. The upside, even though her zipper is 14 inches, it is a polyester zipper, unlike mine that I installed was metal. So, she can just cut hers, the right one, and resize it. So it's no big deal that it's going to be slightly too long. We can fix that after we install the zipper. No big deal. So let's get the pocketses installed. But not before I put the pocket back where it belongs. So now what we're going to do is Tina is going to learn the joys of understitching, because yes, I do usually do that on garments. No, I don't always show you. That's on me. I'm great at my job. What we're doing, she has just attached the pocket to the skirt, and now it is acting as one garment. However, you can sew it down and around the whole way right now. However, your pockets are not going to be as easy to get into. So what we do for understitching is we are going to take her skirt pocket combo here, and right along here, we are going to sew 1/8 of an inch away, or less if you feel brave, from the original seam, because what that does is it holds everything down and away so that when you're looking for your pocket, it's not super loose, it has some structure, so that when your hand goes in, it can find the gap, usually. Do you have any questions before we go into video mode?
Understitching is 1/8 of an inch into the pocket just to sew it down so it doesn't flop over, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah?
Got it.
Go sew! Go team!
Yeah!
Now, let's let Tina stitch up this skirt. And to help Tina stitch up the skirt, I actually did draw a line along where she should be sewing. Whole hand when you're going in for something. Because let's be real, the pocket piece I use is lovely, however, you don't really need to stitch along that line, you just need to create your own. Could I make a different pocket piece? Sure. Am I going to? Probably not. Okay, Tina is running low on time, so what we're going to do is we're going to get these bias facings at least figured out and kind of get like the neck situated. We might need to do another day. It's okay. It's all right. Learning takes time, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be me and push through everything and learn the hard way. Bias facing time now starts. Let's go. Starting with turning this as a facing and stitching this 1/4 of an inch. This is what the fabric sees. You're welcome. And since we were running low on time, it was an all hands on deck situation, so Tina pinned one half while I pinned the other. And while I did stop to actually show her how to iron the bias, we both then realized after ironing her bodice piece that we needed to make an adjustment. Because I had distinctly forgotten that we needed to shorten the cap sleeves because her shoulders are smaller than mine. So we stopped to do that. And then ran out of time. Now for day 6, we did start by making our happy little list of everything that was left to be done. And unfortunately, the first part was pinning on that bias, and I did once again start it for her, and then she finished the rest. And after Tina took point on sewing it on, I then took point on doing some of the understitching to start for that, and then Tina also finished that up. Because that's the way that I find works best. First you show, and then you do. And with that all wrapped up, it was time to attach the skirt to the bodice. Let's transition. You turned! You hoe! Maybe we just use the first one. And after I helped Tina attach the zipper to the dress, she then took home the projects, and then we have a dress to show you. She did it. The squeal of 1,000 pterodactyls of happiness. Y'all, can we just, like, we will do the proper reveal here in just a moment, but like, look at how cute. Look at how good. Also, her first vintage dress. Can we get a round of applause for the Tina?
Yay me.
And I realized it's not your first garment, because I said that wrong at the beginning of the video. I forgot about our caftan adventure. But this is her first vintage dress. And yes, here is mine as well to go with it. This is my brand new one that I made. I'll post a short for y'all. I am so proud of you. I want you to know that. I am so proud of you. You did it.
I had a great teacher. I had a great teacher. I'm gonna make more.
You are gonna make more because it's a cute dress.
More.
And of course, as we do with our first garment, there's always learning, right? So Tina, we've sort of learned like the motion of how Tina works with it, like where she's gonna adjust it for the next time. I have no words other than I'm just super proud. I'm also I can't believe that I taught someone else how to make the thing, because that's not something I have ever thought I was good at. But apparently,
you are!
I can do it! I also want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. If you do want to get yourself a new website or domain, make sure that you are clicking the link down below and using the code StephanieCanada for 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. But now, the part you've all been waiting for. That's right, the reveal of Tina's dress. Wow, I am so blown out.
You can do it!
I can get up. Oh, floor is hard. Yep. Then just to nullify. Nope. None of those are the words I wanted.
And yes, our heads are at the same height and she's on her knees.
Yep. Don't make it weird. I saw you. Don't do it.